If you are thinking of bringing a Labrador into your life, you need to know what you are getting into. This honest review and assessment of Labrador Retriever characteristics and temperament will help you decide whether or not one of these magnificent dogs is the right companion for you at this point in your life. We'll be looking at the Labrador's aptitudes and abilities, his personality traits and his renowned temperament. We'll also be finding out what makes this breed so popular in so many parts of the world and at where our labs originally came from. We'll be digging down to find out what exactly are the attributes that make a Labrador a Labrador. Join us as we look at how the Labrador breed has become divided and how the two different types of Labrador Retriever may differ from one another. Find out about the kinds of problems that can arise if people are unprepared for some aspects of a Labrador's personality, and at the kinds of roles that the Labrador is most suited to. You can, of course, use the green menu to skip to the parts that interest you the most. Before we look at the physical characteristics of the Labrador Retriever and at his personality traits and abilities, it is helpful to briefly note where all these characteristics come from. The Labrador falls into the category of gundog breeds of dog. The origins of the Labrador have had a profound influence on his appearance, personality and behavior. The Labrador was originally bred as a fisherman's companion, working alongside the men and women who inhabited the inhospitable island of Newfoundland, long before modern conveniences and technology was available. This was a job requiring a waterproof coat thick enough to withstand very low temperatures, and an ability to swim in strong currents and for long periods of time. Imported to England, the lab's role changed to that of shooting companion, where his skill at finding game, his ability to carry objects in his mouth without harming them, and his intelligence and biddable temperament would make him the world's finest retriever. From those early beginnings, Labrador Retriever's divergence into many different roles, from therapy dog, to military dog, to companion, and his competence at everything he is asked to do, has defined him. He is clearly a dog of many talents. Let's take a look now at the kind of dog we can expect to meet when we bring a Labrador into our homes. The Labrador Retriever is a sturdily built medium to large dog. He may weigh anything from 50 to 80 pounds once adult, depending on his breeding. He has a well-proportioned body with a healthy balance between length of leg and length of spine, a shape that is often described as short-coupled. The distinguishing features of the Labrador Retriever are well known. He has a broad skull with chiseled features that are softened by his kindly expression and soft ear flaps. His body is powerful and well-muscled and ends in a thick tail that tapers to a point. His full-length muzzle houses a good cooling system and a strong set of jaws with a full complement of 42 large white teeth. The Labrador's short dense wash-and-go coat comes in one of 3 gleaming solid colors and needs little grooming to keep it looking smart. The coat has a shining, slightly oily surface and the individual hairs are straight, although a slight ripple can be seen along the back of some dogs once the adult coat is established. A thick undercoat and the water-resistant topcoat keep a Labrador warm in the coldest water, and a quick shake on emerging from the sea or lake sees the majority of the water removed from its repellent surface. The genetics of Labrador coat color is interesting and more straightforward to understand than many other breeds of dog. Strictly speaking, Labradors come in only 3 colors: yellow, chocolate, which used to be called liver, and black. You will hear people use all sorts of other descriptions, but officially there is no such thing as a golden Labrador, or a fox red Labrador. These are simply variations of the color yellow, the only colors recognized by the kennel clubs of the United Kingdom and the USA are yellow, chocolate, black. His sleek water-resistant coat, soft flapped ears and thick otter tail give the Labrador an almost seal-like appearance. In the water, this likeness is intensified. He looks as at home there as he clearly feels, swimming low in the water and confidently powered by strong webbed paws. On land he is equally sleek and powerful, giving the overall appearance of a fit and healthy canine athlete. Let's look a little closer at that athletic ability. The Labrador is a versatile dog who can sprint at speed over short distances or maintain an easy lopping stride that will carry him for mile after mile. For a moderately large dog he is surprisingly agile, capable of jumping heights well in excess of a meter. The extent of his physical prowess may vary depending on the type or group of Labradors he belongs to, and we'll look more closely at that in a moment. The Labrador's kind expression is mirrored by his kind nature. His easygoing, tolerant temperament and love of water are hallmarks of the breed, but of course, not all Labradors fit this breed description precisely. It is fair to say that sometimes poor temperament traits such as aggression and nervousness can appear in the breed, but is it also fair to say that this is not the norm? On balance, the Labrador's good reputation is justified, and provided care is taken in the choice of a lab puppy, you stand a good chance of getting a friendly, good-natured dog. Born from generations of being bred for retrieving in the shooting field, the Labrador has some special and important breed features. His gentle mouth is capable of carrying delicate items with great care, and his urge to pick up and carry things is strong. His ability to track items by scent alone is extraordinary, and it is no surprise that Labradors are so sought after by bomb disposal teams, customs and excise authorities, and those engaged in sports where tracking is involved. Many people are convinced that their Labrador has a sense of humor, and some Labradors are extremely playful, and not just as puppies. Others can be bumptious, clumsy, and bouncy, especially when young. Temperament, abilities and general personality may of course vary somewhat from individual to individual, but more importantly, in the last half-century, the Labrador has been divided into two distinct types. We'll take a look at those now because not every Labrador is suited to every home, and some homes are better suited to one type than to the other. Some of the traits of the Labrador Retriever depend which group of Labradors he belongs to. For over the last 50 or so years, Labradors in both the UK and the USA have effectively become divided into two quite distinctive strains. Labrador characteristics vary considerably between those bred for the show ring and those bred for the field. Most people are familiar with the picture book image of the broad-headed, heavyweight showbred lab, known as the English Lab in the USA and the Show Lab in the UK. The Act describes the Labrador as being distinguished by its short, dense, weather-resistant coat, an otter tail, a clean-cut head with broad back skull and moderate stop, powerful jaws, and its kind, friendly eyes, expressing character, intelligence and good temperament. The British Kennel Club breed standard also describes a dog with a broad skull, wide nose, and thick tapering otter tail. The KC also describes the breed as agile, though this is a slightly optimistic description of some show dogs. The showbred Labrador does have a sturdier frame than his working cousins, but unfortunately many show dogs are also fairly overweight. A large number of Labradors are born each year from working stock, and their appearance is likely to be very different. The field-bred Labrador, known as the American Lab in the USA and the Working Lab in the UK, is an altogether racier specimen than a show bench cousin. He often lacks the characteristic otter tail. He is likely to have longer ears, a narrower head and generally less substance. His eyes may be closer together / more forward-facing, and he is likely to be more sensitive in nature, and more enthusiastic about retrieving and generally racing around. Whether this division in the breed is a good thing or a bad thing is a matter for argument. Many Labrador enthusiasts would like to see show dogs carry less weight and field-bred dogs to have a more classic Labrador appearance, but we are unlikely to see a convergence of the strains anytime soon. Most Labradors, even those from show stock, have an inborn urge to retrieve things. This is often reflected in their fondness for carrying things around in their mouths and even chewing things up. The basic urge to chase and pick things up is of course a result of generations of breeding for the Labrador Retriever's original purpose. The instinct to bring those things back can be more variable. These are dogs with friendly, often exuberant, personalities and a sense of fun. Despite the differences in show and field strains of Labrador, there are still many Labrador characteristics that are common to both types. In particular their dependable good nature, sense of fun, and love of human companionship, which perhaps more than anything else has made them so popular as pets today. Despite his popularity both as a companion and as a service dog, the Labrador is first and foremost a retriever. His role as such is to remain close to his master at all times, until required to retrieve an animal or bird that has been shot. Anything he is asked to do, including retrieving gently to hand, he is expected to do willingly, unquestioningly, and quickly. The Labrador's highly cooperative and intelligent temperament reflects that role perfectly, and it is what has made him such a perfect fit for so many roles in our society. It is not surprising that this lovable and versatile dog is simply the most popular family pet in the USA, UK and many other parts of the world. Despite the fact that Labradors are so popular, some people are not well suited to life with a large dog that is boisterous and destructive when young, sheds copious amounts of hair and has a particular affection for mud and rolling in dead things. Labradors are social and affectionate dogs who do not like being left alone for long periods of time, so if you work full-time, then daily dog care is essential.